Hi, Adriana. It's a pleasure to be speaking with you today, and not so much on the topic that we have to discuss because it is distressing, but I would love for you if you could just introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit about who you are, your work, and then we're going to get to this discussion around what's happening in Ukraine.
Thank you, Angela. It is good to be able to discuss with you. And I'm Adriana, and I'm leading the community work in United Way Romania, in Romania. I have been part of United Way Romania for more than 15 years, and I have been in the CEO position for more than 2 years. We're doing very good work in education, financial stability, and health of the vulnerable population in Romania. And now, in this very difficult situation, we have gathered all our efforts to support the incoming refugees.
Wow. So, your organization, the United Way in Romania, has been doing great work for many, many years, and I'm actually grateful that you all are in existence at this moment in time that is so critical with Ukrainian refugees fleeing for their lives. And I know I've seen here in the US on the news women with babies and having to leave their husbands, their brothers, their fathers behind. Can you share with me what you're seeing at the refugee points where the Ukrainian refugees are coming into Romania?
Yes, the what we see is a lot of pain and a lot of hurt, and the trauma is it's so great. We see mostly women and children and elderly, but mostly women and children who have had to leave their entire life behind when this crisis started. They left everything. They left their homes that they had built, and they left their parents sometimes, and women who have left their loving husbands to flee the war. We see a lot of pain and hurt, and they travel through segments of their journey with buses and trains. They get to the border area and stay in lines for hours to be able to enter the country because of all the passports and sometimes lacking documents. It takes a little bit of time. The authorities are doing all they can, but it takes time. They stay in the cold. They're hungry. They have not packed much with them. They just had to run in a hurry, and they cross on the other side. And they are amazed to see the love and support that they receive. Because I'm so proud to be a Romanian right now, because the Romanians have rallied, civic society, authorities, and regular people, families like you and I, have rallied together to offer support. And they have built a system where refugees coming in are being received. They're offered whatever they need in that particular moment, and they're embraced with love and support. And we see gratefulness. I see it on the faces of the refugees coming in, because when they cross, they don't know what to expect. They don't know what's going to be on the other side, but they find support and love, and of course, all the material needs covered as well. They need something, like a tea and sandwiches. They need a place where they can rest a little bit, and there's tents there. And then, of course, there's transit centers where they can be transported, and we offer that as well with United Way Romania. And there's little playgrounds that have been set up for children so that adults can have a breather and they can think a little bit, because when they get to the border, maybe they have not even thought, what are we going to do next? Where are we going to go?
You know, Adriana, you said a whole lot just now. And the first point is, if we were all to individually stop for a minute and think about how we would feel if we were told that you have to leave your house now. You have to leave everything behind. You can only take what you can carry, and you have to run, not just a mile or two, but hundreds of miles to save your life. And you just it's traumatic. It's devastating. So that's the and as you said, the pain is, I know it's just so palpable there. But the other thing that you said that is so incredibly important is that you all are receiving the refugees with love. and it's that human touch. It's you have a safe place and we welcome you here. We are here to support you. We're wrapping our arms around you. Yes, we're going to give you the basics, like you need transportation or you need food or you're cold and you need shelter and you need documents, but we're here for you. So can you explain a little bit more about what United Way Ukraine, United Way Romania is doing on behalf of the Ukrainians right now? What give us examples?
Well, first of all, I want to say that we are so grateful with the support we have raised. We have been able to offer support to more than 2,800 refugees so far, which for us, every life counts. But imagine the number. For us, this is great work until now. There's so much to be done, but it's still something we celebrate. What we do, we offer support at the border. So when the mothers and children come, like you mentioned, the food and the all the material needs that are being met, and then we need to sit with them to evaluate their options. Many of them have family or people that they know in other places, so they're quite set on what they're going to do next, where they're going to go. Others don't, and they need more time to think about what they're going to do. And what we've seen is that even at the entry point and even later in transit centers, there's need of psychological support, because like
Yes.
you mentioned, the trauma is so great and the hurt is so great, and they need someone to talk to. Even the small playgrounds we have set up, even in those areas of receiving refugees, like we have in Siget, those help a lot the mothers, because while children are busy, children can very easily be distracted by a soft toy and just forget a little bit of what's going on, and mothers get a breather. They can
Yes.
think a little bit and discuss with the specialist about what they're going to do next. And this is what we do in the customs area. However, we also have the transit support, and in those transit support, refugees are being transported from that place. They stay for as many nights as they need to. They receive all the meals that they need to, warm meals that are very important for them, and of course for the children, adapted food for babies, formula, wipes, everything they need. They have a place where they can take a shower. They have a place where they can rest, and then decide what they're going to do next. And all these playgrounds that are, just to the best of the ability that we had just put together. It's all these playgrounds offer that breather to the mothers, where they can even think about something else. And what we've seen, and I just found it so touching, I want to share with you, is they need time to cry. They don't
Yes.
have the time to cry when the children are there. They just sit so strong, not to impact the children even more with the trauma that they've already been through. And so they even need time to just cry, and cry for the missing of their husbands. The other day, I visited one of the transit centers and I spoke to a mother, and I even recorded a little bit of that. To share with you, and the mother was just crying to me about how wonderful her husband is, and how hard it was for her to leave him behind,
Yes.
and how she doesn't know what's going to be next, and she doesn't know if her husband is going to be alive, what will happen with the conflict, and
Yes.
basically they are just praying that the war will stop and that their families will be safe, and for everyone who has been left behind, because not everyone has escaped yet. There's still people there that are the men that are strong and fighting, and even some parents who were not able to leave, and other people and friends. And she was speaking about the people. She didn't know if they were okay.
Yes. You just said something that for me personally, I believe in the power of prayer, and
Yes.
that all of us need to have faith and hope and prayer,
Amen.
and positive thoughts towards the
Mhm.
people of Ukraine, those that
Mhm.
have been left behind and are still there, that are
Yes.
hunkered down, just praying that they are able to stay alive. And
Yes.
when I think about the fact that their water supply, their electricity has been cut off, there is just so much trauma that is not um, going to be dealt with on a short-term basis, but this is in fact a long-term thing that's going to tragedy that's going to have to be dealt with. And something else that you said that I think is critical, and what United Way Romania is doing is creating the places for play.
Mhm,
Play therapy is important for children,
mhm,
and the children are traumatized, and this is transforming their growth patterns because of what they're going through, even the babies, because they're still soaking in the environment and what's happening around them. And so the effects are going to be long term. So the fact that you're creating play areas for children, the fact that you have transportation where you're helping to transport individuals and families, um, it's important that we have partners, because we know that we all have to work together in order to
mhm.
make the difference. So, can you share with us the partners that you're working with in Romania?
Yes, we are very happy to have also corporate partners that have offered a little bit of support. And I just want to mention Raiffeisen Bank, who has been a strong partner, but also partners like Metropolitan Life or Gempact, who try to get support from their employees with a campaign. It was good because we needed support fast. We in Romania we have created a fund to be able to offer the short-term support, and we had partners who have pitched in as much as they could, but had offered us this help so that we can start delivering the short-term support. We work with community partners that have been with us for many years, and they're vetted and trusted, and
Yeah.
that's so important for us to be able to reach out to them and through them to deliver professional support at the highest level that everyone is accustomed to when they speak about United Way in general, not just United Way Romania, and to just be able to know that the support will go always in an efficient way where it is most needed. Now, I also want to mention regarding support that the short-term support, the emergency support I've spoken about, is just the beginning, and that there are critical needs that are going to stay here for medium and long term, which is going to be months or even years. And in order to be able to continue to offer support, we need partners, like you said, long-term partners that are going to offer that support. And at United Way Romania, we have already designed, because it's education, financial stability, and health are the pillars of United Way, and also the pillars of United Way Romania. And now, if we look at these three pillars and we look at the lives of the refugees, we see the presence of each one of them. We see the need for education for children in the future, integrating them into the educational system, also providing non-formal activities for them, educational activities, material support, support for teachers that are going to be working with refugees children, also language support. There's so much that is going to be needed. Then when we look at integration into work, which is financial stability of refugee adults, we see need for a translation of documents so that they can be integrated into the labor market. We see need for career counseling. We see need for even vocational training for specialists that are going to be working with the refugees, and even workshops explaining to the refugees who are going to stay in Romania what are the condition and what happens in the Romanian labor market, and how to integrate them and offer support through the integration process. And if we look at health, mental health, there's
Mhm.
so much trauma and there's so much
Yes.
need for mental health support. It's like it's going to be through these refugees, like an I cannot think of someone who's not going to need mental health support, even
Well,
the children.
Adriana, no, I just want to go back to something, because you've laid out really well all of the needs that are long term. But I want to go back to the question about who your partners are, because I think
Yeah.
it's important to highlight the role that United Way plays around the world. We have trusted and vetted partners. And I think
Yes.
that's critical to underscore so that when people are donating to United Way for the United for Ukraine Fund, they should be comfortable in knowing and confident in knowing that their funds are being used appropriately and they're
Yes.
being sent out to our partners that are trusted and vetted. So, as we encourage people to give to the United Way, United for Ukraine Fund, I want them to know that this fund is critical to meeting the needs of the refugees on the ground. The second thing I want to do is just highlight what you just stated, Adriana, which is the long-term needs that we are hoping to raise funds for. And
Thank
what I
you.
heard you say in terms of the long-term needs were include the mental health, the physical health, the language and translation, assistance with education, career guidance, being able to find a job, also understanding culture. Because when you come from another country and you're going into another country, you need assistance in understanding the culture in addition to the language and the translation. You also mentioned the legal documentation and the legal support. So I just want to reiterate again that these are long-term needs that we want to make sure that we raise funds to provide the support to the refugees. So, Adriana, is there anything else that you can think of that's important to share about what has happened, what you've seen, and how United Way Romania will be there for the Ukrainians?
Well, I think it's important to say how proud I am to be part of the United Way network, and how you know important it is for us to know that we have your support and that we are not alone, because this has not been easy. It has been so difficult from a personal perspective, from an organizational perspective. Our staff has been working so hard and even putting their families second during this time so that they can do everything they can to be able to offer support. But knowing that we are being supported and having access to all the information and all the know-how from the network, and also having the teams, the regional teams, support us through this time has been very valuable to us. And I just want to say thank you for that. And again, I just want to say that I appreciate what we have been receiving and what we will receive in the future, because we couldn't do all the work that we do if we didn't receive such support, and we are grateful for it.
Well, Adriana, I just want you to know I am just so proud to call you my colleague. And I am just really proud to be a part of United Way Worldwide, an organization that has 1,600 local United Ways in 41 countries and territories. And we have the ability to come together united to work with our sisters and brothers on the ground everywhere in local communities. So our prayers and thoughts are with you all, our Romanian United Way staff, your family members, and thank you for what you are doing, for your generosity, for your care, for your support, and your love of others, as demonstrated by what you're doing to support the Ukrainian refugees. Thank you.
Thank you.